Start. A constitution bench of the Supreme Court in M. Nagaraj versus Union of India upheld the validity of the 85th constitutional amendment which provided reservation in promotion. However, the court noted that the state is not bound to make reservations for SCs and STs in promotion matters. To exercise its discretion, the state has to collect quantifiable data which shows the backwardness of the class and inadequacy of representation of that class in public employment. In 2018, a five-judge bench in Jarnail Singh versus Lakshmi Narayan Gupta held that the condition of states giving quantifiable data with respect to inadequate representation still stands and that inadequacy of representation has to be in relation to a specific cadre and not in proportion to SC/ST population in the state. However, there is still some ambiguities regarding reservation in promotions which stalled several appointments. Thus, the union and state governments asked the Supreme Court to give clarifications. A three-judge bench of the Supreme Court answered the following six questions. What is the yardstick one would use to arrive at quantifiable data showing inadequate representations of SCs and STs in public employment? The SC held that the no yardstick can be laid down for determining the adequacy of representation of SCs and STs in promotional posts for the purpose of providing reservation. The determination of whether SCs and STs have an inadequate representation in services is left to the state's discretion because it depends on various factors that the court cannot foresee. What is the unit for which quantitative data showing inadequate representation is required to be collected? The court said that the right to be considered for appointment can only be claimed in respect of a post in a cadre. As a consequence, the percentage of reservation has to be worked out in relation to the number of posts which from the cadre strength. The court also said that the entire service cannot be considered to be a cadre for the purpose of promotion from one post to a higher post in a different grade. Promotion is made from one grade to the next higher grade in relation to which cadres are constituted. Whether proportion to the population of SCs and STs, the population of India should be taken to be the test for determining adequacy of representation in promotional posts for the purposes of Article 16(4)(a). The Supreme Court reiterated that it is for the state to assess the inadequacy of representation of SCs and STs in the promotional post by taking into account relevant factors and did not express any opinion in this regard. Should there be a time period for reviewing inadequacy of representation? The Apex Court agreed that the data collected to determine inadequacy of representation for the purpose of providing reservation in promotions needs to be reviewed periodically. Whether the judgment in M. Nagaraj case can be said to operate prospectively. The judgment of M. Nagaraj was given in 2006, where the court interpreted Article 16 4A of the Constitution, which came into effect in 1995. The said that it is necessary to declare the M. Nagaraj judgment to prospective effect because applying the principles laid down in case from 1995 would be detrimental to the interest of a number of civil servants and would have an effect of unsettling the seniority of individuals over a long period of time. Whether quantifiable data showing inadequacy of representation can be collected on the basis of sampling methods as held by this court in BK Pavitra and others versus Union of India and others. The court stated that in BK Pavitra case, it was held that the expression cadre has no fixed meaning in service jurisprudence and hence the collection of data on the basis of groups is valid. On the contrary, in M. Nagaraj case, it was held that the unit for collection of quantifiable data is cadre and not services has been held in BK Pavitra. The court observed that for the purpose of collection of quantifiable data to assess representation of SCs and STs for the purpose of providing reservation in promotions, cadre which is a part of a group is the unit and the data has to be collected with respect to each cadre. Therefore, the conclusion in BK Pavitra second approving the collection of data on the basis of groups and not cadres is contrary to the law laid down by this court in M. Nagaraj and Jarnail Singh versus Lakshmi Narayan Gupta 2018.